Hello, it's me, JaxxRaptor, and this match analysis is the final one of the introductory, I guess just a fall season rotation, whatever the last rotation was. Okay, look, a bunch of new maps got rotated into standard. I did at least one video on every one of those maps, with this one being the final one. Now, if you're curious about what play looks like on any of those maps, you look at my channel. I'll put them in a playlist maybe, I don't know. But the point is that you can check it all out. And after this, anything is going to be either a map that is in the rotation but is not new to the rotation, or it's going to be a repeat map, or it's going to be like a Z game. A map that's like literally in the new category or something like that. I'm free. I can do whatever I want after this. This was the big goal that I had, and I'm going to finish it right now. And helping me finish it are two returning players to my analysis. JaxxRaptor, playing Sonja again. JaxxRaptor's a big fan of Sonja, playing her in way too many games that are appropriate. And NobodyG00d, who I am again accusing of being a liar and a thief. He is not nobody good, he is somebody good. He's at least pretty good, so that's worth something. The map, Shangri-La. It's a it's 3 starting bases. Probably not. Maybe it is. Yeah, it's not really a base trade map. It can't be a base trade map because if you lose the base that's on the solo side, then you're probably going to lose your HQ. But you do have this heavy side that's away from your HQ. There's 2 bases on it, and you have another base that is closer to your HQ, where there is an airport. There's comm towers in the center of the map that are not precisely contested, but you have pretty clear paths to the opposing comm tower as well. And in the center of the map is a lab which no one in their right mind would fight for. So, let's get into it. The position of this infantry in the river is kind of interesting. I don't know where. I guess it's sort of obligated to walk forward. It can do essentially the same things as an infantry that's made out of this base. The one thing that it can do that the infantry that's made from this base can't do is contest this property here. It's sort of interesting that player 2 gets the unique ability to contest this very early, whereas it would take player 1 a substantial amount more time to try and make their way towards that equivalent property. Man, with all these bases and all these properties, this cafe just feels so explosive. It's an interesting map for that reason. Okay, so very standard builds so far, just infantry. It seems like neither player is being especially aggressive. NobodyG00d did not opt to try to sneak this out. I should do the math again on this. So here, you could have this infantry go here eventually. Maybe not first, because it would be better for it to go here and then here. Have another infantry go there. You move this all the way down, and so that's one turn. And on turn 2 you could, so this infantry could try to stop this cap, but then it's not trying to cap anything itself. So, kind of it's definitely an aggressive play. It's an option that you have. I wonder if anybody's done that. I'll have to remember to look for a replay to see if somebody ever does that. Also, you can react to that. The fact that, well, I mean, I suppose this infantry also could. As long as you're building from this base, then you can. This is guaranteed, I suppose. Moving forward and then spreading out like that to the left and right, JaxxRaptor did. That seems to be pretty thoughtful to do that rather than to commit to one side or the other. I don't know why NobodyG00d did not move the additional space. I mean, it's just a good habit. I mean, it is a good habit, but so looks like most of JaxxRaptor's forces are going up towards this middle area, whereas NobodyG00d is playing more defensively, moving towards the comm tower and towards his HQ. This area of the map is pretty empty for JaxxRaptor, whereas this is starting to be occupied for NobodyG00d. This is a guaranteed cap for NobodyG00d now. This is not guaranteed for JaxxRaptor on the other hand. Okay, so NobodyG00d sees that JaxxRaptor is moving up this lane here, separated by the river and the pond, the lake. So he's gonna move his artillery, I suppose, to stand somewhere in this area and try to prevent them from moving into the place where the comm tower is. This infantry is going to grab the comm tower. This infantry, I suppose, is going to get this city here. And this infantry will probably make this cap next. This infantry is here to block the cap from happening right away. Delay it by a turn. So it's just one tank on the defensive side and infantry on the offensive. JaxxRaptor is definitely playing this aggressively. I guess player one is more obligate to do that. It makes sense as player one that you would take the chance to be aggressive. And as player two, it makes sense that if you so choose, you can be defensive. You can wait for player one to build something and then react. But because this is only because the defensive side only has one base, as opposed to the offensive side for JaxxRaptor here having two bases, this is more or less futile, I think. Like, there's no way that that's going to be able to hold against the force that he can create. Maybe he'll have to flesh out and get all the cities first, but certainly that's the inevitable conclusion. I'm a little surprised it took this long to see a recon. There's a lot of roads. I'm also a little bit surprised that we saw it on this side as opposed to from this base, where after moving on these planes, it has the potential to go almost wherever it wants aggressively. This is a recon on the defensive side. It can stop. I think it's to help make the cap here. But also JaxxRaptor doesn't exactly need it. He can block the infantry here from interfering. He's got really good positioning on these three. That's smart stuff. This position is really defensible. These are like, this might be the map with the safest HQs in standard. I wonder if this is an S rank map. These HQs are just ridiculous safe. The only thing that's unsafe about them is the fact that there's two bases across from them. If there was one base across from them, then this map would be like impossible to win on. Okay, so I didn't talk about this, but the recon is, I don't really know what it's doing. It's moving into the center. It's gonna try to pick this off, but this is being protected by the tank here now, so that's not so great. I don't know where this recon's going to go to be useful. JaxxRaptor. Was it JaxxRaptor? I can't remember. I think it was JaxxRaptor that built recons against Uncharted Jake's Fortune. Yeah, that sounds right. And also sort of misplayed. Uncharted Jake's Fortune gave me the advice that recons are very strong in standard for stopping APC plays, but it doesn't seem like NobodyG00d is going to build an APC on turn 8 or turn 7 after the capture phase is mostly over and there are already tanks abound. Doesn't quite seem right. I don't know. JaxxRaptor might just like recons for something, and I mean they're good players, so Okay, so JaxxRaptor's managed to sneak an infantry onto the city here, and it's relatively well protected with this artillery behind him. This is a good way in, I suppose. This tank is actually backing it up in a weird way. It can't quite make it down the lane to this artillery, but this artillery just was made. Nobody good will move it this turn, and I'm kind of curious to see where. Probably to this city, I'm thinking. It'll be able to hit the city here. And if it's on this city, then it's safe from this tank, even though this tank will kill. This tank can kill an infantry. I mean, it doesn't need to, because the artillery will kill the infantry. This tank is definitely going to be able to protect whatever cap takes place here. Preemptive anti-air is really solid. That's the only other thing that's defending this. Defending the HQ area. So this base and the airport, but having a build like this, and this is a lot of funds that JaxxRaptor spent. An artillery, a anti-air, and a regular tank. All three. Yeah, it's kind of crazy how this 2-base side can... I mean, it makes sense that this 2-base side would overpower this. And just having these infantry over here is not sufficient to defend. And it doesn't feel like NobodyG00d is applying the same sort of aggression. Sonja HP doesn't display properly as the turn gets updated, so... Five and 5. That's a good counterattack. That was a very good counterattack. Oh, interesting. Like, this is what I expected the recon to be doing, but I didn't expect it to be quite this effective at it, in the sense that it's able to dodge this. It has been able to dodge this artillery. JaxxRaptor doesn't actually even care if this infantry dies. If JaxxRaptor cared if this infantry died, then they would join, and they would give up this infantry to save it, or to make it less likely to die. But in reality, he's just using this as a bait. This doesn't feel like the right place for this artillery. I don't understand what this artillery is doing. This mech is protecting it, sure. But also, like, who cares? The city is still gonna get taken. This is, after all, what JaxxRaptor wanted. They're playing it. Oh, I guess NobodyG00d does get the counter shot on the artillery if that happens. It's kind of interesting. This decision making is rather hard. This defense is seeming better and better the more I look at it. This is rather scary, and having the mech behind it is also tremendously good. Um, Nobody Good's cap has, without a doubt, been better. Where's the properties that Nobody Good has? This is a big one. I talked about this property a lot at the beginning. It's naturally easier for player 1 to cap it because of the first turn advantage counter, or for player 2 to get it because of the first turn advantage counter. The way that that works is pretty significant. But there's other properties that Nobody Good owns. This is one. This is very, very far forward. This is the equivalent of this one. So he owns both of them. Would that equal it out? That wouldn't equal it out either. These two aren't capped on either side. What else does... There's this, which isn't capped. That'll make it 2,000. Yeah, so it's this and this being unowned and this being owned. This being owned and this being unowned. And both of these being owned by Nobody Good. So now this income difference is just this. If JaxxRaptor can find a way to take this, which actually is quite difficult right now, then they'll be tied for income. Okay, so JaxxRaptor does just fire on the artillery here. When did this happen? I feel like that was like a misplay or a mistake or something. Like, the first strike as artillery is way more important than terrain. Just going to 5 HP next turn. Okay, so JaxxRaptor building another recon. Might be just used to go down here, go down this road and mess with the infantry, since there's a lot of them back there. There's also tanks back there. There's 2 battlecopters, and there's not a load of artillery that it could hit, but I don't know. It's strange. Strange behavior. Okay, so no luck hitting the artillery with either of these actually did anything. I guess you can't ever counterattack artillery. What? Oh, I see. Because it did. God. Battlecopter did a ton of damage. Oh, it's because it's Grimm, I guess. I forget that Grimm works the way that Grimm do. I don't think that I've ever played a game like with or against Grimm. He's a really funny looking CEO. So aggressive. I respect it. I think that think that maybe I would be well suited to playing Grimm, but it's also likely that I'm extremely poorly suited to playing Grimm. It's one of the two, for sure. Just have to play around and find out. Makes these formations seem a lot weaker. Another recon. Maybe it's because nobody good is Grimm that these recons are actually useful. Being able to, like, the recons are gonna die in one hit anyways. So just having them deal much more damage than they would otherwise do is significant. Like, the only drawback is that they're gonna die instantly. But if you think that your units are gonna die anyways because Grimm is just gonna do a bazillion damage, then who cares? Just whatever. Just build them. Who cares? Sure, cool. You know. I will say that playing Grimm against Sonja looks like it really feels bad because what you want to see is that the numbers get lower. And you can't see that against Sonja. You want to see it. Just having the visual feedback that your numbers are going brr. I wonder if that was bad luck. It was bad luck. Well, I suppose it doesn't have to be that bad of luck, but realistically, most COs, I think, would have killed there. Most COs have like some sort of damage bonus or something that they could give to a recon like that. Like Cole would have killed there even. Like sure it died, but you know, there's some voice in your head that says, well, it would have died anyways. How much damage does a Grimm tank do? Yeah, like, you know, this is an absurd amount of damage. It's super high, but you know, like once it's at 2 HP, this thing is useless anyways. So why waste a 7,000 gold unit when you could just waste a 4,000 gold unit to make the same play? I mean, it's not like yeah, it's like you run into the same problem. It's essentially exactly the same. So just if it's on a road, then the recon's going to move further. It was on a road. It's going to be on a road a lot this map. The recon seems really solid here. You can maybe get the first strikes with tanks on like other units. If he tries to wall up, then you can break the walls with these recons really effectively. Rocket. Okay, these indirect units with it seems to be like the gimmick for Grimm. Honestly, is that His indirects are just terrifying because you don't get the drawback of having them be low defense. Like if your indirects get hit, they're gonna die anyways. They're not doing the right thing. Okay, so they got counter break. Oof. This turn was pretty rough, and nobody good cannot do anything this turn. Mainly. I'm surprised that nobody good is continuing to build copters. Actually, you know what? Battlecopters for Grimm are just like JaxxRaptor building recons in order to throw at the Grimm units, because these are gonna die anyways too. Like if these get hit by an anti-air gun, they're dead. So who cares if they got lower defense? Just give me the high damage battlecopter, and then I throw it at something and it dies. You know, you just makes sense. Who cares? What are you gonna try to do? Keep it alive? That's a fool's errand. Whoa! This is some advanced stuff. Wonder what brought that on. So nobody good's turn. He's got the meme ability. Is he gonna use it? Not yet. I wonder when the time is to use that stuff. This isn't good. This force is getting wrapped around on. These are way more aggressive than what nobody good has here. Okay, this is really smart, using these mountains as protection. There's no way that the AI can get over there. Okay, so we got Knuckle Buster. I'm disappointed that we don't get to watch stuff just like fall over, because I would want to be able to make a big deal about the amount of damage stuff is doing, but I can't tell. Is it Sonja? So one of these is going down for sure. That's pretty rough. I'm sure that nobody good was wanting to be able to attack these. He didn't use his regular power, so that he could have used regular power again next turn, I think, or at least been pretty close to it. Yeah, he's basically at it. I'm really curious about what's going to happen to these units in the center here. Okay, so he's moving these back towards the left, but not confident how much this retreat will matter. So if the funds lead is going to dissipate if JaxxRaptor gets this cap, which seems pretty difficult for NobodyG00d to hold on to. Or maybe he can. No, because JaxxRaptor is going to protect it with this. It's artillery. Okay, this is looking pretty bad now. I don't know what NobodyG00d could do to make up. He really needs to be able to advance forward here. He's needed to do that all game, more or less. Definitely don't think the thing to do is to try and attack infantry with your medium tanks. Knuckle Buster. I don't quite get it. I do not quite get it. I don't know about moving this rocket back. Doesn't quite seem like the right play to make, but I mean, I don't know. I guess JaxxRaptor's got to lead, do what he wants. Yeah, well. He's got it again. This is super fast charging. Okay. What? Oh, I see. Alright, here comes a medium tank for NobodyG00d. That is a way back into this game for sure. Here comes the counter break. Okay. This is just really rough. It's kind of rough for both players right now, truthfully. This is not where you want your troops to be. As long as you're the second player, like they're all around these two bases, which is where you want your aggression to be coming from. But this is all just defense. This is all defense too. The only aggressive unit that NobodyG00d has right now is this singular tank. Everything else is just trying to like protect something that that NobodyG00d owns, and that he's not fighting for something that his opponent controls. It's not so hot. Without moving into this one base side, I don't know how NobodyG00d will ever plan on winning. It feels like the entire game that NobodyG00d has been focused on trying not to lose rather than trying to win. Okay, so it feels like this single base side is getting closed in on. I'm not sure if this medium tank will be able to salvage the situation here. Also, this feels like this rocket's just not. I mean, this is a hard place for a rocket to be. NobodyG00d is defending well. Like, when the chance presents itself, he's cleaning up. It's just there's an issue where there's no aggression to be made. It just keeps happening. This VPC just driving back and forth. A Neo tank. That's kind of scary. I only say that it's kind of scary because of the fact that it's going to be able to move all over the place. Like all of the units in the map are converging on NobodyG00d's base, which is just not good for NobodyG00d. I don't know about this. Hey, it's alright, especially considering that neither of these artillery can actually see anything this turn. They can its rocket. These are good units to have here, but maybe not the right It's all right. Okay, so now finally nobody good seems to have established like a, a way of mounting offense, because each one of these groups is strong enough to push forward, I think. This one the slowest, this one the fastest, and this one are somewhere in between. And this stealth is also going to be able to break stuff open for him really, really easily. JaxxRaptor's already got the fighter out, but I just don't feel that it's not going to be easy. No matter what, it's not going to be easy. It's always hard to deal with these stealths. This is so far away at this point that he doesn't need to like actually stealth the stealth. You just use it like a bomber. This is a pointy bomber. This is okay, so nobody good gets this back. Controlled this at the beginning of the game. Getting it back. Hold on, what did this? Okay. Thought this attacked. Oh, this isn't good. Maybe that was wrong. Interesting. So, I would think that the I would have thought that this stealth would try to hit the... I guess it's because he doesn't want to stealth it. That's why. He wants to save the stealth. So when it's not stealth, then the anti-air can hit it. But if he had activated stealth, then I don't know if he can activate stealth in the same turn that it attacks. So maybe that's why. Oh wow, he managed to find a way in with the tanks. Okay. I hadn't considered that. He doesn't need to. This teleporting tank here. But now we can kind of see. This rocket is still in good shape for nobody good, so that bodes well for him. I doubt that a 2 health Neo tank can blow up this anti-air. At 6 HP, Grimm can probably still kill the B-copter. Yeah. Man, Grimm's anti are like no joke. They just they do so much damage. It's really funny. Oh, it's because it had the power. What if it doesn't? Yeah, it's still fine. It's still totally fine. Minimum 100. So, that's pretty decent. I suppose that if that's what JaxxRaptor wants to do, I'll hit it with the medium. But, oh, and counter break. Okay, so yeah, that'll change the dynamic here. Yeah, he did hit it with the medium. Oof, that hurts. Okay, so this stealth does have to stealth this turn, I think. Man, it is really hard to... I'm not any good at... I just don't have any experience with Grimm, so anytime that he assembles like a big force, I'm like, yeah, surely this is enough to make a big breakthrough. But maybe it's the combination of the fact that Grimm's low defense makes those armies just crack really fast, and also the fact that Sonja's counterattacks are going to be dealing bonus damage because it's Grimm. That I just don't... that I'm consistently making such poor reads. It's interesting that this copter didn't go for this copter. I suppose that means that NobodyG00d is building anti-air from this turn. Wow. An AA that ran out of fuel. That's interesting. Interesting. A fighter. And this fighter also holds off this fighter. I would have never thought of that. Doesn't build from both bases, but does have a unit advantage right now. Doesn't need to. It's also interesting that JaxxRaptor didn't try to kill this. Did not try to just kill the rockets, because, I mean, I would assume that NobodyG00d is willing to heal that up. Okay, so the stealth is finally stealth. It has no fuel though. It's got to stop by like an APC or the airport or something. It wants to be useful at all. Of course, this B-copter is protected by this fighter, so if this fighter comes and tries to shoot it, then there will be issues. And yeah, sure enough, this is broken in for NobodyG00d. He's making aggressive plays. Using fighters is like really advanced anti-airs. Really expensive anti-airs is really interesting. The Neo tank is on a city as well, which There's a second one. Okay, so this is defensive wall away from the HQ. This area of the map is super open. I don't know if this fighter is here to try to just cover a wide area, because it can cover all of this stuff. And over on this area as well, to the east side of the map. He doesn't know where the stealth went, but maybe he didn't check to see how much fuel it had last. These caps seem unstoppable. Oh wow, NobodyG00d also has a ton of money in the bank. I wonder what he's plotting. Just a bunch of heals. Like, he's gonna heal a ton of stuff next turn. So a lot of that's just gonna go away to healing. Super defensive formation. That's so much just went away to healing. So he has 24,000 income, and then he ends up with 24,000. He ends up with 26,000. So that means that he spent 13,000 on healing, or thereabouts, 13 or 14,000. Way too tired for math right now. I didn't realize this game would be so long, but it's pretty cool. I didn't even realize that Flak was in the way of this stuff. Get out of here, you goober. Ah. Flak's been blocking this artillery somewhat. Okay, well, anyways. Okay, so this is just a massive defensive formation. This is a massive defensive formation. This isn't choky, this is just like stalemate-y. This is a really rough map. These are guaranteed to go to NobodyG00d. He's going to take these this turn. He's got his CO power if he wants to fight. Okay, this is a bait. He's trying to get the fighter to come out so he can hit with the stealth. It's also being protected by the anti-air. What? Yeah, I guess there was a pretty big discrepancy. It's like 10 units and quite a bit of money, but what have you not gotten enough money and utility from trying to counterbreak? He was pretty far away from it. Those bars are really, really chunky at this point in the game. It's a lot of funds that you would have had to lose before he was able to do it. The income discrepancy had become rather large as well. Well, takeaways. What did I learn from this? Grimm is a really weird CO. He's really about just fighting, just sending units in, getting hits, first strikes. Can't afford to play too defensively with him, it doesn't seem. The stealth is really beneficial because it's basically guaranteed to get first strikes, it seems. That's something to think about. Fighters, really good units. Probably better than I have given them credit for in the past. It seems kind of weird because they can only hit air units, but they totally shred air units, so they're useful to have as defensive parts of the army. Rockets seem really effective on this map. Both players built multiple rockets. It seems like if you want to start winning, you have to be aggressive with your two base side. There's not a lot of sense in defending your one base side with your two base side. That doesn't. It's really hard to do. I mean, it might be necessary at some points, but generally you want to be aggressive here. I think that's the only way that NobodyG00d started winning, and I think that's when JaxxRaptor was winning, was when JaxxRaptor was able to do that. But then again, losing these two inside bases, you have to, I don't know, you have to make sure that your opponent can't just like run up this alley and then take all their stuff in there as well. It's a weird game. It's a long one. I think that I didn't do a good job as I could have because I'm a little bit tired. Been up for quite a bit. But I'll get some rest, maybe eat some stuff, and see you guys in the next one.